Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. Horror games have been around for just about as long as home video games. They recently went through a huge surge where it seemed like every other game release was a horror. So hard to say horror and not make it sound like another word. Anyway, we're getting pretty good at making spooky games. However, sometimes developers make a game that they don't intend to be scary and only learn later that it freaks people out. So let's talk about the games that scare the pants off of unsuspecting gamers. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by throwing us a thumbs up down below. And if you want to keep the creepy train rolling, check out our video on the top 10 gaming creepypastas. But before you do that, get ready, it's time for the top 10 unintentionally scary games. Number 10. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Zelda games generally aren't the scariest of games, and Twilight Princess, while a bit dark, definitely wouldn't be considered a horror game. But there's a lot of stuff that has scared players over the years. Link's first wolf transformation was terrifying, the re-deads were some of the freakiest ever, the ghost rat scene is creepy, but the scariest part is of course when Link goes on the bad acid trip during his history lesson. The scene has been nightmare fuel for many a Zelda fan, and while the game itself was fun and not meant to be nightmarish, that part alone has made it pretty infamous. Number 9. Pokemon Red and Green. I hate to bring this one up again because I feel like we've talked about it a million times, but it fits too darn well to leave it off this list. For those who haven't heard about it, the original Japanese versions of Pokemon Red and Green had some pretty freaky music that played when you were in Lavender Town. The music actually ended up giving some kids headaches while they were playing, so it was changed for the European and North American versions. This led to the creation of the Lavender Town Syndrome myth that claimed that it was causing kids to commit suicide. Of course, the music did not really cause suicide and was intended to be a bit eerie, but it definitely turned out to be freakier than they intended and led to some even freakier stories. Number 8. Jeopardy! Yeah, but you didn't see this one coming. The DOS version of Jeopardy is a game that I've played a lot. I was in the gifted program in school, and Jeopardy was one of the few games on the computers. And trust me, that was not a humble brag. Being gifted isn't really an accomplishment. Jeopardy was good, and it was a pretty fun and educational game, but there was one part that creeped me out. And apparently I'm not alone because I came across it a few times in the forums. Look at Dan. Look at him. Look at his tent fingers. Look at those shifty eyes. Dan is planning something dark. I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to stick around to find out, so let's move on. Number 7. Ecco the Dolphin. Ecco the Dolphin is an underwater side-scroller for the Sega Genesis. You control a dolphin named Ecco, surprise surprise, as you go on an underwater adventure. At first glance, it seems totally colorful and cheerful, leading many parents to buy it for their kids, but as it turned out, the game was quite a bit scarier than the publishers had intended, and much scarier than the parents intended. Of course, the game itself can be pretty stressful, having to fight the feelings of claustrophobia and watch oxygen levels, but the truly terrifying part is the enemies. All sorts of crazy underwater beasts are there to freak you out, but the horrifying aliens resembling Lovecraftian creatures take the cake. As with a lot of these entries, the game was intended to be a bit scary, but they probably didn't expect it to gain the cult classic scary status it seems to have found. Number 6. Fan-made Frozen games. You guys might not have heard of these, and if that's the case, count yourselves lucky and skip this point. But for those of you who have had the misfortune of coming across one of these things, you know what I'm talking about. There are these weird flash games out there starring Elsa and Anna from Frozen that are totally disturbing. Some seem to be aimed at kids, while others seem to be some sort of fetish thing, and sometimes it's hard to tell which are which, and a lot involve pregnancy. These are supposedly meant to be games for kids to just have fun and learn about the human body, or else meant to be sexy, I guess, but I'd say they fail on both counts. Whether you're spanking Elsa or giving Anna a C-section, this may not have been meant to be terrifying, but by God, is it ever terrifying. Number 5. Space Quest 4. This one's straight up a personal one for me. This was one of the first computer games I ever had, and it scared the living daylights out of me. The game itself was super stressful, and that was only mostly because I'm a scaredy cat. I didn't know what to expect, but at one point there's this freaky dude you can run into who screams at you, and when I saw it, I turned it off and never played again. I recently saw Day 9 play it on Mostly Walking, and I figured, I can handle this now. And you know what? It's still scary as hell. Just look at this. I get that they were going for a scary bit there, so it might be a stretch to call this unintentionally scary, but I'm thinking they weren't trying to make it so scary that kids just turned it off for 20 years. Number 4. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was, on the whole, just a treat. An amazing game, especially for its time, that holds up surprisingly well nowadays. But there was one part that scared the willies out of gamers everywhere: the stall children, aka the skeletons, aka the things that come out at night and made you poop your pants. Now granted, they aren't objectively the scariest things in the world, but the moment you heard that howl and knew they were coming, they got 10 times scarier. My girlfriend still refuses to play at night because of them. But if we're talking Zelda, this list would literally be incorrect if I didn't include number 3, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. I'm thinking a lot of you are waiting for this one. Majora's Mask is a classic Zelda game that many fans have played for hours and hours. But it's also a game that some fans tried and then never played again because it was way too scary. Whether it's a giant freaky moon, Mikana Canyon, the creepy mask salesman, or the general sense of doom, the game can be pretty stressful for me as a grown man, never mind for kids. Now, as far as intention goes, I tried to find an interview or something where they stated whether or not they intended it to be scary, but I couldn't. However, I think it's safe to say they didn't think people would be quite so creeped out. Also, fun fact, the mask salesman was actually based on the creator, Shigeru Miyamoto. So, that's gotta suck for him that people find it so scary. Number 2, No Man's Sky. Yep, it's time to talk about everyone's favorite launch failure, No Man's Sky. This game was heralded as a new beginning. It was going to be epic with amazing planets, cool environments, and awesome creatures. And, well, I think this video sums it all up perfectly. The creatures were nightmarish. I should point out that No Man's Sky has been much improved since release, thanks to some excellent updates, and the upcoming next update is widely expected to bring the game to a whole new level. But as someone who played since the launch, I've seen things. Scary things. Number 1, Chipper and Sons Lumber Co. This had to be number 1. Chipper and Sons was a game about beavers who own a lumber company, considered to be the precursor to the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, largely because it was made by the same guy, Scott Cawthon. When it was first released in 2013, it was poorly received. The characters that were meant to be cute were heavily criticized, with many saying they resembled scary animatronic characters. This bummed Scott out big time, but he actually used his failure to his advantage, taking hints from this game to create the now cult classic horror game, Five Nights at Freddy's, with scary animatronic animals. So this unintentionally scary game led to a very intentionally scary game. Life gave him scary lemons, so he made freaky lemonade. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more videos. Let me know in the comments if you know of any other games I could have mentioned, and check out our Top 10 Sonic playlist for more videos like this one. Until next time, I'm Ron McKenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Gaming. Later, gamers.